Exercise D4. Solving linear equations. 1. Solve each equation. Remember in class we talked about the word solve means to find the unknown value of a variable, and we have to use reverse operations to find the missing values. So question A, x plus 5 equals to 40. So we want to isolate x. We need to undo the plus 5 by subtracting 5 on the left side of the equation. When I subtract 5 on one side, I also need to subtract 5 from the other side. So when I do this, I have x equals to 40 minus 5, which is 35. Question B. 2x is equal to 18. 2x means 2 times x. To isolate x, we have to do the inverse of multiply, which is divide. So we divide by 2 on the left side and the right side of the equation. So we have x equals to 18 divided by 2, which is x equals to 9. C. The equation gets a little more complicated. I have 4x minus 17 equals to 15. When we solve equations, we will keep the x term and try to get rid of anything that is not in that term, which is the minus 17 here. To get rid of minus 17, we do the opposite of minus, which is plus 17, to both sides of the equations. So now I have 4x minus 17 plus 17, which is 4x, equals 15 plus 17, which is 32. So 4x is equal to 32. We can now divide both sides of the equation by 4 to isolate x. X is 32 divided by 4, or x is 8. Question 2. Spencer has $450 in his savings account. Each week he deposits $35. The equation S equals 450 plus 35N represents his total savings, S dollars, after N weeks. A. How much will Spencer have saved after 12 weeks? So in that long equation, which letter or variable represents the number of weeks? It is N. So here, after 12 weeks, we have to substitute 12 into N. And so savings is 450 plus 35 times 12. Using math, you multiply 35 by 12 first, and then add 450, which gives you 870. Don't forget to write a sentence. Spencer will have saved $870 after 12 weeks. B. Spencer wants to buy a dirt bike that costs $1,325. How many weeks will it take him to make that amount in total savings? Now this time, we know the savings has to be 1,325, and we are looking for N. So we replace S with 1325. This gives us an equation. So we need to look for N. So we get rid of anything that doesn't belong to the 35N term, which is 450. So now we have to subtract 450 from both sides of the equation. It tells us 875 is equal to 35. N. So now divide both sides of the equation by 35 to isolate N. N is 25. It takes him 25 weeks to save. Number 3. Solve each equation. A. 2x equals to 5. We have to isolate x by dividing both sides of the equation by 2. Therefore, x is 5 over 2. You can leave your answer in improper fraction. B. Negative 3x plus 5 equals 23. The term that doesn't have x in it is plus 5. So we minus 5 on both sides of the equation, leaving us with negative 3x on the left side equals the result of 23 minus 5, which is 18 on the right side. Now divide both sides by negative 3 to isolate x. X is negative 6. Why negative? Because when you divide a positive number by a negative number, it is always negative. C. 9x plus 7 equals to 52. So which term does not belong to 9x term? The 7. So subtract 7 from both sides of the equation. You have 9x equals 52 minus 7 is 45. So now I want x, not 9x. Divide both sides of the equation by 9. So x is equal to 5. Question 4. This is a multiple choice question. Which value of x makes the equation x minus 4 equals to 7 true? Now when you have multiple choice questions, if you can solve the equation to find an answer before looking at the choices, that's the better way to answer these questions, because you will not get distracted or confused by going through all the possible answers. So we'll pretend this is not a multiple choice question and just solve the equation x minus 4 equals 7. So we know that to isolate x, we need to undo the negative 4 by adding 4 to both sides of the equation. We have x equals to 7 plus 4, or x is equal to 11. The answer is D. Question 5. For which of the following is x equals to negative 1 not the solution? Unfortunately, we cannot do what we did in the last multiple choice questions, because we actually have to test out the value of negative 1 in x to see if left side is equal to right side in each one of these different equations. So here's what I've done. So we saw that negative 1 plus 3 is 2, so the A will not be our answer. 2x equals to 2, so 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. It's not equal to 2, so this is not a good left side equals right side scenario, but that's what we're looking for. If you don't trust this answer to be the correct answer, you can continue to substitute x into the next two equations. So 3 times x, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, which is the right side. So this is not what we're looking for. Or negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. It is equal to positive 5 on the right side. And this is not what we're looking for. So the correct answer here is B. 6. Shauna is having a birthday party at the movie theater. The cost is $57 plus $14.25 for each guest. The equation C equals 57 plus 14.25 n represents the total cost C dollars for n guests. A. Shauna's mom told her she could invite 10 guests. What is the cost for 10 guests? In that equation, n represents the number of guests. So to calculate the cost C, we're going to replace n with 10. So here we have C equals 57 plus 14.25 times n, or 57 plus 142.5. Add the numbers up. This is the total cost, so it costs $199.50 to invite 10 guests. The total bill for Shauna's party is $171. How many guests came to the party? So this is working backwards. We know the cost, so replace C with 171 equals 57 plus 14.25n. This turns into an equation that we need to use inverse operations to solve. We have 171, take away 57 to equal 14.25n. Now, 171 minus 57 is 144 equals 14.25n. To find n, divide both sides of the equation by 14.25, and the final answer is 8. It means 8 guests came to Shauna's birthday party. Number 7. Nick joined the Canadian Armed Forces. When he's not wearing his pack, he weighs 77 kilograms. So this means there's no rations and starting point. It implies this is the starting point. He packs 2 kilograms of rations for each day he is on an exercise. A. Write an equation to determine his total weight, W kilograms, for D days on an exercise. So what is fixed here? We know that when there's no pack or anything, Nick weighs 77 kilograms. So this must be fixed because that's his weight. But for each day they add 2 kilograms of rations. So that means it's a constant. So we keep multiplying, or we keep adding 2, which turns into a multiplier in your linear equation. So in total you have W, the weight, total weight, equals 2 times D plus 77. B. Nick is going on the exercise for 7 days. How much will the total weight be? So 7 days means D is 7. Substitute that into the equation. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 77. This gives the total weight of 91 kilograms. Now, Nick weighs himself with his pack just before he leaves on an exercise. The total weight is 99 kilograms. How many days will he be on an exercise? He brought a total of 99 kilograms with him. That's W equals 2D. We don't know how many days. Plus 77. That's the constant. So to find out D for number of days, we isolate the 2D term. We get rid of the plus 77 by doing reverse operation of subtraction. So on both sides of the equation now we have subtract 77. The left side becomes 22 equals the right side is 2D. So 2 times D is 22. D must be 22 divided by 2 or 11. This means that we have found out Nick will be on an 11-day exercise.